Greetings, students. I'm going to do a medical example for you. This is a word problem, so get ready for that. I'm going to use the four-step method for solving word problems. You'll see that as I go along. All right, so first let's look at the problem itself. Here's the problem. A particular drug is in many non-prescription medications. This makes it easy to get more than 4,000 milligrams per day, which is linked to health problems. The recommended dosage is 3,250 milligrams for the daily maximum. A painkiller contains 700 milligrams of this drug per pill, and a cold medication contains 425 milligrams of this drug per pill. What is the maximum number of painkiller pills that should be taken in a day or 24 hours? And if you take one painkiller pill per hour for 2 hours, what is the maximum number of cold medications that you should be taking in the rest of that day? And then we're going to round our answers to the nearest whole pill. Okay, so that step one in any word problem is to read the problem. We just did that. Sometimes you might want to read it a couple times. And then you're going to write down what you know and what you're looking for. All right, so right here, we're going to just write down what we know, because we're going to, in the next step, we're going to kind of talk about what we're looking for. But we know that the unhealthy amount of the drug is 4,000 milligrams a day. The maximum amount that a person should take of the drug is 3,250 milligrams a day. And we know that the painkiller pill contains 700 milligrams per pill, and the cold medication contains 425 milligrams per pill. So that's what we know. So that's step one. Step two is to come up with a plan to solve the problem. In other words, come up with an equation or some kind of a plan that you are going to use to solve this problem. All right, so we're going to do this for part A first. Part A is, what is the maximum number of painkiller pills that should be taken in 24 hours or in one day? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the recommended maximum dosage by the reverse of the dosage per painkiller pill. So it'd be 3,250 milligrams per day times the inverse of the 700 milligrams per pill. And this is kind of something called dimensional analysis here, where you cancel the units. And this makes this problem pretty straightforward, because we're going to cancel the milligrams here. Notice that there's a milligram on the top and milligram on the bottom. So they cancel, and the units that we're left with is pill per day. All right, so we end up with 3,250 over 700. And so if you divide that on your calculator, you're going to get 4.64 pills per day. Now, since we're rounding to the nearest whole pill, to be safe, we want to round this down, correct? Because if we round up to 5, we might be exceeding the maximum amount of pills that that person should be taking. So we're going to round it down to 4 pills per day. Okay, so, and that was step 3. Step 3 is just do it. Work the problem. All right? And I'm going to talk about step 4 in a few minutes. But let's go ahead and do part B. All right, so again, we're going to talk about step 2, devise a plan for part B. All right, so it says if you take one painkiller pill for 2 hours, what is the maximum number of cold medication pills that should be taken for the remainder of the day or 24 hours? All right, so we know that the painkiller pills have 700 milligrams each, and we're taking 2 of them, right? So that would be 1,400. So we're going to say, okay, how many milligrams is left over that's safe? So we're going to take the maximum amount, subtract the 1,400 from that, and we're left with 1,850 milligrams for the rest of the day. All right, then we're going to do the same thing that we did in the previous example. We're going to take this and then multiply it by the inverse of the milligrams per pill of the cold medication. So you can see what happens here. We have 850 milligrams per day times pill over 425 milligrams. And if you divide that number, you get 4.35 pills for the rest of the day. And if you round it off to the nearest whole number, you get 4 pills for the rest of the day. Okay, so now let's kind of look at this and see let's do step 4. Step 4 is check the problem or ask yourself, does the answer make sense? Okay, and the only way to check this one, there's not like an answer that you can plug the value back in for X or anything. You just have to rework the problem again and make sure that you get the same answer. And I would recommend always waiting, taking a break, go and walk your dog or do something else other than math, and then come back and work the problem again without looking at what you did before and make sure you got the same answer. All right, and then to ask yourself if this makes sense, how many pills, think about how many pills you would typically take in a day when you're sick. About 4 pills are a reasonable answer. And then for the second one, about 6 pills also might be a reasonable answer. Between 4 and 6 pills is usually what you take of some kind of a pill that you're like a cold medication or a painkiller. So the answers do make sense there, which is the fourth step to any word problem. Okay, that's it. I hope that this was helpful, and you have a good day.